All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be looking at the solutions for the 13.5, 13.6 quick check. And if you have additional questions after that, send me an email or comment in one of the questions or attend the Zoom meetings and we can work out how to help you. So the first three questions ask if things are independent or dependent. So remember, independent means that they have nothing to do with each other. One coin being tossed does not impact or change the output of the dice being rolled. Two things that have nothing to do with each other. Dependent means that one impacts the other. When you roll a dice and the output of that dice is going to impact something else. So if you roll a 2, then you can only pick from red and blue. That's different. As opposed to if you roll a dice and you pick randomly from all the colors. Or if you are drawing from a deck of cards and not replacing something, that second draw is going to be impacted by that first draw since you don't put the card back. So Anne draws a colored toothpick from a jar without replacing it. She draws a second toothpick. If she is not replacing it, it's going to change the possible outcomes for the first from the first toothpick to the second toothpick. So these are dependent. John rolls a 6 on a dice and then spins a spinner and lands on red. Does not have anything to do with each other, so independent. Independent. There we go. Cannot write today. And number 3 says Marcus and Mary are team captains. From their 10 options of team members, Marcus picks first and Mary picks second. Well, because Marcus picks first, that's going to change the possible outcomes for Mary, so they are dependent. Number 4, 5, and 6 have to do with mutually exclusive or not mutually exclusive. And what that means, if they are mutually exclusive, that means the outcomes for the two different situations, because it's saying or in the middle, this situation or that situation. If there's no outcomes that overlap, like there's not a possibility that both sets of outcomes could contain the same event, then they are mutually exclusive. They are exclusive, they are separated from each other. If there is something that may overlap, then they are not mutually exclusive. So with these kinds of problems, if you're not 100% sure, I highly suggest making a list of the outcomes and then trying to see if there's any overlap there. So first one says picking a number 1 to 50 and picking an even number or a number divisible by 5. Well, even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so on, so on, so on. Divisible by 5, 5, 10. Oh, is there overlap? I have 10 in both. I do. So these are not mutually exclusive. Not mutually exclusive. And then choosing a restaurant for lunch and choosing Corner Bakery or McDonald's. Do either of these have anything to do with each other? No, it's not like saying, like they have the same exact items. If they were the exact same restaurants and you were just getting different things, it would be different. But this is mutually exclusive. They have nothing to do with each other. They're across the street from each other if you're talking about the ones at River Memorial, but they have nothing to do with each other. Number 6 says choosing a number 1 to 15 and choosing an even or an odd. I was looking at y'all's responses to this, and a lot of people were confused. These are mutually exclusive. An odd number is not going to be an even number, and an even number is not going to be an odd number. There is no overlap there at all. All right, number 7 says you're going to find the probability of tossing a coin and rolling a die and finding the probability of tossing a heads and rolling a 6. So for the coin, the probability of tossing heads is 1/2. There's only 2 outcomes on a coin. So the probability of heads is 1/2. On a dice, getting the number 6. There's a total of 6 outcomes on a dice, but there's only one number 6. This says and in the middle. And in the middle, so that means that we are going to multiply. So 1/2 times 1/6 gives you 1/12. Number 8 says find the probability that you will pull out 2 quarters in a row without replacement of the first if you start off with 3 quarters, 2 dimes, and 5 nickels in your pocket. So you have pull out 2 quarters in a row without replacement. So the first quarter, you have 3 quarters out of a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 coins. And then you pull out the second quarter. And that second quarter, you didn't put the first one back, so there's only 2 quarters to pick from. And you didn't put the first coin back, so then you only have 9 options. So that turns into 6/90, which we can reduce to 1/15. Our next question says 2 dice are rolled. Find the probability that the sum of 8 or doubles are rolled. So sum of 8, the possibilities for sum of 8. So if you're rolling 2 dice, no matter what, you have 36 outcomes. So your bottom number for dice is 36. If 2 dice. So the sum of 8, you can do 3 plus 5, 5 plus 3, 4 plus 4, and 6 plus 2, and 6 plus 2, and 2 plus 6. For doubles, you have 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4, 5 and 5, and 6 and 6. Now, do any of these sets look like they are identical? Well, we've got 4 and 4. So we need to do this problem a little differently. We're going to take all the outcomes from a sum of 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's out of 36 because I'm rolling 2 dice. There's a total of 36 possible outcomes when you roll 2 dice. I'm going to add because it says or, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doubles outcomes. But then I'm going to subtract one of the overlap, one of the circled ones. So 1 minus 1/36. So that gives us 10/36, and that reduces to 5/18. And our last question says a spinner numbered 1 through 12 is spun. Find the probability that the number is 11 given that the number is odd. When it says given that the number is odd, I only have odd numbers as possible outcomes now. So think about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I am no longer able to use any of the even numbers. So gone, gone, gone. All of your even numbers are gone. So now you have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 outcomes. 6 numbers that are odd that are your possible outcomes. Now, how many of those is the number 11? Only 1. So for this answer, it's 1 out of 6. Because there's only one 11, and you're only going from the odd numbers. So there's only 6 odd numbers.